Hey everyone, how y'all doing? I hope the answer is good, great, fine, phenomenal, one of those. But if it's not, that's okay. You're here, aren't you? You're alive, you're listening to my podcast for whatever reason. You've decided to take on another day. So, that's a small victory in my books. I hope it is in yours as well. I won't ramble on too much longer. Let's get into our first diary entry, shall we? Dear Diary, I think before really getting into this diary, I need to catch up my listeners on my journey with depression and anxiety so far. So, let's do that right quick for today. I said this in my little trailer intro episode that I have been dealing with anxiety and depression for a very long time. Like, looking back now as an adult, I don't think I actually remember any time where I wasn't depressed or anxious. It's been a huge part of my life, and I didn't even realize up until recently that it's been a huge part of my life and impacted a lot of the decisions I made, how I interacted with people, just everything. But I didn't realize that. I internalized everything to the point that I was completely numb. I didn't understand emotions, if that makes sense. Like, if I could understand other people's emotions, I look at them and be like, okay, they are upset, they are frustrated, they're annoyed, or they're really happy, they're joyful. Like, I could look at a person and I could understand that. But for me, I would feel a feeling and I'd be like, well, people under this similar circumstance would likely feel sad. Or people that are going through this very specific scenario would be frustrated. And I couldn't really connect what I was feeling and put it into words. Regardless, I internalized everything to the point that I just know if something was off, but it wasn't like I was going to address it at any point. I did not do any self-reflection or anything like that. Obviously, like I said, I have never kept a diary or journaled to just get my thoughts out of my head and put it on paper. I always thought it was really lame and just something like girly girls do, and I was not a girly girl. So definitely not my thing. Never really self-reflected. Never really thought, why am I so angry, or why am I so like sad or just frustrated or what have you. I just felt what I felt and kept it pushing. I guess whenever I experienced something that caused a negative emotion, I would just tell myself, you just got to get through this one stage and then it'll get better. But then, you know how it is. You get through the one stage, it's better for a little bit, but then there's something else that now puts you in a low mood. And then I told myself, you just got to get through this and then it'll get better. You just got to get through this and then it'll get better. But I wasn't really addressing why I felt the negative feelings in the first place. But I just kept pushing through, because it's worked in the past, Not really on the grand scheme of things, but I definitely felt like it was working because I got through whatever I needed to get through. And then it got better for a bit. Then a new stress. And then a new thing that brought me into a low mood. And then early this year, 2023, I hit the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know really. Well, I was going to say I don't really know what led up to it, but there was just several things going on at once. Individually, probably would not have impacted me the way that they did, but altogether, a new job, a new specialization, Um, just, I'm not going to really go into all the details there unless you want to know. That'll be for another day, but I was tired. I was tired of fighting because I did realize through the years that I was depressed and anxious, but I was like, I could just keep it down. I don't need no therapy. I'm better than that. I don't need no antidepressants. I've studied those things. I know what they do to your body. I don't really need that. That's for other people. That's not for me. So I was aware that those options were present, but I don't know why, but I thought I was better and I did not need those things. So early this year in 2023, all these things all hit me at once. And I remember one night laying beside my husband, crying basically, and I was just like, I've been fighting for a very long time. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't remember much after that. I think my husband called a crisis line. I don't think they were actually very helpful. I need to address that another day, because crisis lines, I understand, but y'all need to do better, because putting people on hold. Anyway, I went on sick leave from work near the end of March of 2023 for severe depression and anxiety. My doctor put me on meds, and she is phenomenal. Let me just say that she is Nigerian and she is a woman, she's just like me, which is so cool because I don't have to over explain the culture I come from, the upbringing I had. I just had to explain certain circumstances, and she'll be like, oh, okay, well, I understand. She was like, these Nigerian men, they have a problem, and I'm like, okay, she gets it. And then I came in contact with a therapist, and she's a Kenyan woman, and I'm like, oh yes, another African woman. What? So again, I don't have to over explain my upbringing and my culture so that the therapist would have a good idea on where I'm coming from. She just gets it, so we can just skip all that over explanation, all that jargon, all that English, just to get to the point of what I'm struggling through exactly. And so, since the end of March, I've been making a lot of progress. End of March, I was not getting out of bed anymore. I was crying a lot, very tired, didn't want to do anything, low energy. I went from being somebody who loved going to the gym to I could barely manage a 15-minute walk. It was too much for me. I went to go see my family for a little bit, seeing my mom and my sister, my brother, and I was just like, it's nice. I live in a different province from the rest of my family. Quick disclaimer, in case you don't know, I live in Canada. We have provinces there. And so flying over to see them was so exciting. It was, my mom saw me and she cried. She was so happy that she saw me. It's been so long since I've seen my parents and my siblings, and like, I miss them so much, because those are my people. I call them regularly, like, but it's not the same. So it was a great experience to see them again. I came back. My husband and I went on a trip that we were planning for a while back. But besides that, it was a lot of hard work to get to where I am, slowly developing or redeveloping a love for the things that I enjoyed, because now I had the time to enjoy them. It also helps that I was taking my antidepressants and doing the therapy thing. I got to enjoy my summer. Since becoming an adult, I haven't really been able to enjoy my summers because you gotta work all the time. It's not like when you're in school and then you do school and then you have summer off and then you go back to school. You lose the full enjoyment of your summer because you gotta work, you gotta eat, you gotta pay your bills. So it was nice to kind of have my summer back. So I was making quite a bit of progress, but my therapist was still like, I don't think I'm ready to send you back to work quite yet. And my doctor's like, hey, if that's what your therapist says, we're going to stick with that, because we do not want you to go back to work and then everything starts crashing down again. Our main goal is to make sure that you are able to tolerate going back to work and no relapsing. And I guess I'm just one of the lucky ones because of my profession, I'm unionized. It doesn't really matter. Well, I won't say it doesn't matter, but my managers are more understanding and they can't really fire me just for not being well. But besides that, they have been phenomenal, very understanding. One of my managers emailed me halfway through the summer just saying, I'm just checking in on you. I hope you're healing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, who gets emails like this from their boss? What? I'm aware of my privilege when it comes to that. I mean, I worked hard for that privilege. Let's be real. 4.5 years of grueling nursing school to get where I am, but it's still a privilege nonetheless. And so I've been receiving lots of help, and I am so grateful for it all. So where am I right now? I'm still on my sick leave. Winter is coming, y'all. And I'm not saying that because of Game of Thrones. Winter is actually coming. Again, I live in Canada, and it's near the end of October, and it is cold already. There's a snow warning in the near future, and I don't know if it's just the Nigerian blood in me, but as soon as it starts to get cool, my mood drops. I went from going to the gym 4 times a week during the summer, and then it got cold, and I'm just like, I can't go outside. Some days I can't get out of bed anymore. One day I was even just laying down on the bathroom floor, basically crying. Why? I have such a low mood right now. And thinking back on it, I think it's very hilarious, because I'm like, if I had seen that in a movie or something like that, I'm like, oh my god, that's some white teenage girl thing. But it actually felt like the most comforting place at that point in time. And yeah, I have an awesome support system, great friends, phenomenal family, top tier husband. I love that man. But it's still a struggle, especially with the cooler temperatures. I am not tolerating it very well right now. I am struggling quite a bit. My husband bought me a therapy lamp to try and help, because we're going to have shorter days and stuff like that, which doesn't help my mood either, obviously. It was recommended by my therapist. My sister also recommended it, and one of my friends did as well. Completely unrelated to each other, which is interesting. So we got one of those, and that seemed to help a little bit. My doctor upped my dose on my antidepressants, which, I don't know, all these things together seems to be helping a little bit, but I am still struggling a lot. And I know when that first snowfall hits, it's gonna hit me hard. So we'll see. Anyway, that is everything. Yeah, you're all caught up now. When I say day to day, but I'm not publishing these daily because that's a lot of work that I don't want to do, and I know I won't be able to keep up with it. But now you will kind of understand where I'm coming from when you listen to my future journal entries. I say journal. Is journaling and a diary the same? Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Go easy on yourself today, huh? I'll see you in the next journal entry. Diary entry? Bye.